Before I get started on the unboxing, well, sort of unboxing, I just want to quickly go through the reasons for purchasing this pump and how it has performed. So please be patient and stay with me. My house is situated on a large but flat block, just a little fall from the back to the front. The front drainage ditch outside the property drains but slowly. Storm water coming through my property would travel down the dirt ditch on my land to the front ditch. In heavy and continual rain, the subsoil, which is clay, expands and the water table rises and results in my backyard going underwater once or twice per year. As a consequence, I decided to block my drain from going out to the front ditch and flow the water to a central pit, water from the pit to be pumped up to a holding tank, with the overflow from the tank going into the house stormwater system. Well, that was the plan. Anyway, I got the end of my drain blocked off, sloped the part of the drain back to my pit and installed a slotted drain pipe. I did all this as the long-term forecast was for good weather. Well, what's an accurate weather forecast? So now my drain was blocked off due to the works I've done and from the street drain, and then the rains came, and this is what I woke up to one morning. I was a bit stressed, to be honest, and still had to go to work for the day, and it rained throughout the day as well, so I was a little bit more stressed, even though work kept me busy and occupied, so I didn't think about it so much. But anyway, I completed work about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had to buy something to sort of resolve this issue in my backyard. So I bought a Ryobi Submersible Pump, and then I had to get that installed to see how that would perform in actually getting rid of that water and mitigating this in the future. So I've just got the pump now. I'm home from work. I thought I'd get the video out to give you a bit of an understanding of what I've actually got there. So that's my driveway. You can sort of see that's a bit underwater as well, how level we are to the road. And there's my pit, which is quite full of water now. And my nice garden down the side where my drain used to be, which is now filled in and flowing back towards this pit. And my backyard. And while it looks bad, it is reasonably deep because there is a little bit of fall. There are a little bit of highs and lows in the property, so there is a little bit of fall there, and it is quite deep around the place. Yeah, there's my pit, full. A bit of black pipe there is part of my old garden irrigation system, which I've pulled up and still laying there for the time being. But just to give you an understanding of how much water is actually on the property, we'll just go for a bit of a walk. I've got to go and get a few things out of my shed here, which I'm not going to tie you up with since we're looking at the video on the property itself, or I should say on the submersible pump. So let's go for a wander. So you can see, looks like a bit of a lake, doesn't it? Quite a lot of water here which I'm wading through. Good thing about gumboots, you can get through these types of things. I was going to do an unboxing of the product and be quite descriptive about how it all works, but I was time poor due to the fact that I'm home about 5 o'clock now. The sun's going to be setting in an hour and a half time, so I've got to get this thing done. That's a Ryobi Submersible Pump. Pumps 16,500 litres an hour. It's just a standard submersible pump. It takes up to about 25 mil particle through the pump, and it just has an adjustable float there, so you can get it to activate at a certain height and then cut out again when it gets to a certain height. So here's my unboxing. Look, I do apologise for the footage. I just as I said, I need to get it done, and so I didn't move the camera around much. So it is what it is for today. That's the outlet there now. So it just goes onto the pump there, and you can cut the ends of that off to suit whatever size pipe that you need to put on there. These are the pipe fittings I purchased, standard Filmac poly pipe connectors. They're a compression connector that goes to that blue line pipe down there on the ground. So I was just checking the fittings on there. I do need to cut that bit of the end off. which you don't really need to see me doing, but anyway. Okay, I've got the cut off now. Just going to clean out just inside there, get a few of those little bits of plastic off there. And that now screws on to my fitting, which will go onto the pipe, so that will connect the pipe to the pump. Yeah, here I'm going to unbox it. So this is the pump itself, coming out of the box now. It has a reasonably long, I can't remember the length of it now, I don't have it in front of me, but it has a reasonably long power lead to it. And obviously you can see in the background there that yellow power lead, which I've got running out of my bedroom, across the footpath, across the carport, up the post, ready to plug that into the pump so that the actual connection will be up out of any potential water that comes onto the ground. Yeah, as I said, look, I apologise for the footage. I should have been doing a proper unboxing here, but anyway, sounds like an excuse to me, so I won't comment on that anymore. Here I am reading the instructions, having a look at what the important stuff I need to know. Unfortunately, I'm one of those fellas who do like to read the instructions to make sure I don't stuff something up. In the past, you know, you pull something out, you think you know how it works, you do it all, something doesn't work, and you realise that you've done something in the wrong order. Here I am looking at the base of the pump. So that's how you adjust it to whether it's going to take fine particles or larger particles. So that is just a little clip in there that you can just press in and turn it so it takes different size particles. But I'm just going to skip ahead a bit here at speed, just so you're not waylaid watching me just put all this together. In the reality of it all, though, it's a fairly straightforward task to set this submersible pump up. It's just a matter of connecting a pipe to the outlet of the pump and connecting a rope to the handle, so you've got a way of dropping the pump down into your pit, and then connecting it to the power, and away it goes. The float on the side, you can shorten it or leave it as long as it is, and as the float floats to the top of the water, it'll activate the pump, and when the water is pumped away and the float drops all the way back down again, it cuts the pump out, and then as water goes back into your pit, the float will rise again. As the float rises right up, it then activates the pump again, and that's just a rinse and repeat type of cycle. A fairly straightforward process. Okay, just organising a bit of electrical flex, which I'm going to use to connect to the handle of the pump as a means of lowering it down into the pit and being able to pull it back out again if there's there's a blockage, or when the all the water's gone, I can pull it back out, give it a clean, ready for another time to use it. When I spoke earlier about using the blue line poly pipe, which is a fairly hard pipe, an alternative solution would be to use a submersible pump installation kit, which uses a flat hose and a clamp just to clamp it onto your outlet, and a rope to attach to your handle to drop it in and out. Those installation kits, the one in the picture I just showed, is around $20 to buy versus the $80 or $90 I spent in buying poly pipe and connectors to connect up to the pump, and having to cut the outlet as opposed to just being able to push it straight on there and apply a clamp. So that would be the preferred method in the future, should I have to go that way again. But you know, I've got what I've got now, and that's what I'm using. There, I've got the pump ready now. I'll be just connecting the power up to it, not turning it on obviously, but getting it ready to go. Okay, I've run out the blue line pipe, I've connected it up to the pump, just going to lower it down into the pit now, get it ready to go. Once it's right down in the bottom of the pit and stable, I'll connect up the power and then see how it's performing. Okay, turn the power on. Now, I spoke earlier about the blue line pipe being fairly hard pipe and that it doesn't unroll very easily. Well, that's exactly what it looks like until it warms up and you can lay it flat. I'm using some rocks here on the garden to hold it in place for the time being. You see where I've just put that hose over the concrete edge there and into the culvert pipe there. And see she's pumping water away quite nicely. So again, that's 16,500 litres an hour this pump will move. So it'd be interesting to see just how much water it will move overnight, how much water is actually in the backyard. Here it is, 7:45 the next morning, and we see all of the water from the immediate backyard has now been pumped away. So the pump ran all night for around 13 hours, moving 16,500 litres an hour. That's a lot of water that has moved out of the backyard. We still see that there is some water sitting around in dips and depressions right up here in the backyard. There is some slotted ag pipe under the ground that will progressively move that water into the side ditch down to the pit and be pumped away. So I think that the pump's been a really good solution. So just to finalise, this is what it looked like before we put the pump in, and the next morning this is what it looked like. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll get some more videos out on other things I'm doing around the property or items that I've purchased and will be using.